Yes, sir.
We have 15 total,
Okay.
11 10 days, 4 new ones.
Okay.
You want me to bring the 10 days in first and then the 4 new ones?
First of all, can you tell Kelly you forgot the part, the admonishment on there, the last page. Here's this list.
The first 11 are 10 days, the last 4 new, none of them are under 8. 13.
That's how I say it too.
Yeah.
You said how many total?
15 total.
How about this? Why don't you hold Titus and Cola back there? Once we do the first 13, we can bring them in.
So do those 2 last.
Yeah, because the big thing is I don't know if we do the admonishments, because that takes a couple minutes, just waste time. So those 2, just if you hold back there, we'll see one at the table to start with. Like Aguilar will start at the table, so we have 12 there. Yeah, unless we bring chairs.
They bring chairs.
What do you
Got
want?
2 chairs.
No, you were good with Aguilar here, that'd be.
No, I'm saying for Titus and Cola, do you want to bring chairs so they sit there?
Yeah, we do that.
Okay. We'll just do that. So now we know 15 is our max, more than 15. I think you turn that mic on. I don't think I have to make you host. It
Right.
seems to be Aaron too.
Yeah, you don't have to make me host. I know, right? Thank you.
Sorry?
Who am I calling?
TCOLE, T-C-O-L-E, Texas Commission on Law Enforcement and Education, is that what it is? And, used to be called TCOS.
Oh, okay.
Tell them that, yeah, to be 23rd, and then I want to do a training for law enforcement in Tarrant County on juvenile law. And you know what, I better call them. Thank you. Just got more coffee as I talked about.
Do you have a number, or would you want me to punch your number?
This is what I just pulled up.
Okay.
nuts and bolts to help them. But I would love to do it where they actually get people credit for it. It's just, you know, you said cost, we're saying, what is the cost? Okay, thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, 14, and then we'll start getting around the table.
Do you want us back here?
Oh, wherever you like.
Okay.
So Aguilar will be first up, which is Frank's. Some sun. Tracy,
Huh?
you got some sun.
Yeah, went to the beach after.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then, I don't know if you know, we bought a boat for our COVID buy last year. So I was on the lake all weekend too.
It's a good weekend for you.
Well, last week, after going on vacation, was rough. So I was just telling Stephanie, I've got to get that motion for new trial. Yeah.
Tracy, I'm gonna send you that right now.
Thank you. Yeah, that is what I'm working on tomorrow to try to get it filed tomorrow, so. Did you go to Rusty Dunn? Oh.
No, because right now I'm trying to figure out the trial docket. And if I'm here, the cases all move, you get one off. If I leave town, then just push it back a week. I didn't want to pay for a visiting judge sitting here because somebody's going off the docket.
You don't know who that is yet.
I get it.
But next year, should be able to. It's kind of funny though, because all the bunch of criminal judges went down.
Oh, really?
Yes, bunch. And that left Judge Westfall and Judge Thomas back here. Judge Westfall took a day off, Wednesday or Thursday. Judge Thomas had docket, he's in docket, he won't sign warrants. So you have to wait till October. And so all these decisions, we had like 5 warrants for things like that, like they're all coming here because.
I mean, there was a lot that happened over the last few weeks. Just over the weekend, I got a call right as I was walking out that one of my clients was shot. Yeah. And I mean, not. Huh? One of the road, it was a road rage one.
Was that the first time?
No,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad one.
he died. I mean, Yeah.
just 3 votes.
Yeah.
And yet they didn't arrest anybody on that one. So,
Oh, they got it?
no, they don't know if he was a victim or was really a victim. Yeah. Because the guy stayed on the scene. Shot.
Yeah, they found his car just up in the grassy part of the.
Yeah, so he stopped.
Yeah.
So, it must have been some kind of maybe justification.
Phone turned off? Your phone off?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Here you go.
What I go about the next step. I have a walk up. Sorry.
Here you go. Can I hold my gun? What? Come on, I have a- Straight across. Straight across.
How are you doing? I like your front yard.
Your kids. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Martin. You know, say,
Okay, this is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court. A couple things I want to go over. When a child's brought to our detention facility, the law says you must see a judge within 2 business days. At that point, the judge has to make a decision whether to keep you in custody or to release you. Today is not a trial. This is not whether you committed an offense or not. It's simply about making a decision whether you should be released back into the community or whether you should remain in detention. I want to explain how that process works. The law says the first step is when you see the judge, I will get a report that's mostly based upon the police report that will tell me what the police officers are saying that you did. There has to be a finding of probable cause. Now, what probable cause is a legal definition, and it means that can somebody articulate, can somebody put into words a series of statements that, if they were true, would be a violation of the laws. Again, these are a series of statements. These are all based on hearsay. This is not whether about you committed a crime or not. This is about whether you're accused of a crime and whether it passes legal muster. Now, if I do find that there is probable cause, the next step is to decide whether to release you or to keep you. If that decision is based on things like whether you would be, in my opinion, a danger to yourself or to others, whether you're likely not to appear in court, whether there's not adequate supervision in your home. If you've been previously adjudicated for a felony level offense, another factor I consider. In considering these, I'll make the decision to detain you or to release you. If I release you, it can be any kind of reasonable conditions. That could be electronic monitor, that could be drug testing. I could require you to live with one parent or the other parent or no parent at all. I can set curfews for you. I can require you to go to school. I can even require you to make certain levels of grades if school is in session. Now, if I decide that I was going to keep you, the law says that you must see a judge every 10 days while you are in custody. And then some of you are here for that 10-day hearing. I do want to say, I'm absolutely certain there is information about your case that I will not have in front of me today. That is something you really need to talk to your attorney about and provide to your attorney so your attorney can determine when the appropriate time for that to come up would be. Usually that is during the trial. So this is not your trial. I just want to reiterate that. Now, this also goes to the parents who are here. If you have information about your child that you think will be pertinent, that is something to provide to your child's attorney. This is not an adversarial hearing. The district attorney's office is here, but they don't have a right to be here. They don't have a right to present evidence or to give anything to the court. It's simply about detaining your child or releasing your child. So happens over the weekend. Get your spill. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Andrew. Thank you. Oh, the two things I also want to say. There are two rights that I want to make sure that you understand during this detention hearing process. You do have a right to remain silent. I encourage you to use that because, again, this is not your trial. My decision is based on things that are outside of your control. And generally speaking, in the time I've been here, I don't think there's been a child that's ever talked his way out of a detention decision. Now, that being said, if you give up that right to remain silent, nothing you say at a detention hearing can be used against you at any other type of court setting. So I want to say that you do have a right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I will provide one for you. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Andrew. All right, Andrew, you have been here for 16 days. Never been here before. Back in June, Haltom City brought you in. They're dispatched for domestic involving handgun. Residents of unit said that residents of another unit, Andrew, had pointed a gun to several children from the unit after they accidentally hit the window of your unit with a soccer ball. They said that you got upset, got out of the apartment, and pointed a gun at them. There were 12 children between 1 and 14 years old present. The two owners of the unit said all the children feared for their lives. And the child that struck the window was fearful of even getting out of the apartment. To talk to your parents, said that you didn't own any guns, consented to the apartment being searched. And mom requested a warrant, which is fine. And then officers getting a warrant, when mom said they had 2 airsoft guns. So they found the airsoft guns, you were detained, transported here. And you told the police, just because they were removing this in their mind. Okay, his loved one outstanding as of today. What happened, Jorge? How far did he drop down?
One day yesterday, I wearing some mask.
Okay, yeah, Andrew, I don't like masks either. Oh, that's one thing I would say. People, if you're wearing masks, if you want to wear them, you can. If you don't, don't. It's up to you. Nobody cares one way or another. Or I don't care one way or another. So do we have mom here for Andrew?
Yes, mom is here.
Okay.
She does speak Spanish.
Okay, so the victim's parents are saying that you Emily threatened retaliation against them or threatened the parents. Can you ask her about that?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, the victim of this offense, I guess the mother of the victim is saying that Andrew's mom is threatening them. I'm just wondering.
No, I don't think that was. Well,
Yes, it's on the clipboard that is in front of the
mamá,
chairman.
pues quiere saber si usted ha hablado con la víctima porque la víctima se siente en peligro, que usted van a hacer algo contra ellos.
Sí, no sé, no.
No sabes nada de eso.
No,
Mom's not aware of any of that kind of situation.
nomás nos saludan, es todo, pasa ella y nos saluda y es.
Mom says they say hi, she says hi, and you go about their business.
All right. Andrew, I don't know if I asked you before. Are you an American citizen? Okay, you're born here? Okay, good. Hey, Andrew, I'm glad you're level one. I'm gonna tell you now, I'm just not comfortable yet. It's been 2 weeks you're here. I just want things to calm down. What I'm afraid of is the fact that you have 12 kids between 1 and 14 that evidently, I don't know what the reaction was by them or how much fear that they're in. But you have to understand that even if it's not a real gun, that they do make people feel like they're afraid that they're about to die. That's a huge part of this, okay? What I want to say is, I know you're discouraged because you're hoping that they'll let you go. Whenever guns or even fake guns are used, I always am very cautious about releasing back into the community, okay? And so you're on your way there. I'm just not there yet, okay? It's just, I think you have to understand how serious it is when somebody pulls out a gun or what looks like a gun that makes people afraid for their life, okay? So I want you to understand you're on the right track, but just hold on, keep on doing what you're doing. That's the way to impress me, okay? Machado, you look like you were gonna say something.
No, Your Honor, I was gonna have them all testify to supervision. But
Right.
if your mind will present it next time.
Yeah, the concern is that they're neighbors in the same apartment complex. And so if he's home at all, the fact that these children, these other 12 children, if this is true, would be still be in fear. They don't know, it wasn't a real gun. I don't know how much that they know. So I'm not there yet, but Andrew, you're getting there, okay? All right, thank you. Alicia,
Your Honor, I think her mother is on her way. I don't think she's here yet. She reported that she had a flat, is on her way. Can we hold off on her for?
yeah, I don't mind doing that for you, Mr. Daniel.
Thank you.
Landon? Landon? Kelly put the wrong one on here. Okay, Jeremiah. Okay. Kelly's on the game today. All right, Jeremiah. Yes. Thank you. Yes, and help. All right, Jeremiah. Let's see. Okay, you've been here 146 days. So back in April, I committed you to the Texas Juvenile Justice Department for 7 years, probated for 10 years. You were successfully completed sex offender treatment and placement at Mountain Home Academy in Idaho. It was okay. We did the ICPC, home study was completed. Okay, Mountain Home was closing. Lauren, are you here? Oh, hello. All right, Lauren, where are we at?
Yeah, so I received an update from the placement department today. We are trying to place them in a home in Kansas. As of right now, we're not contracted with Kansas. They're looking over the documentation for us to be contracted with them. Also, the staff member asked to have an interview with Jeremiah tomorrow morning or tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Okay, so how much time do you need?
I asked for a time frame and she stated that she couldn't give me one.
I need some kind of time frame.
And that's what I explained to him. I asked if there was any way that we could start a backup plan because he has been here since February.
Right.
And she hasn't emailed me back, but she stated that they're taking their time looking over the documentation. So it is a little frustrating for me as well.
Okay. So if I was to order OCOK to take possession of Jeremiah right now, who would be responsible for him?
Me.
Okay, if I said by the end of the day, who would be responsible for it?
Me.
Okay, so Lauren, you know I really like you, and I don't want to throw you under the bus, but I can't just keep Jeremiah here.
Right.
So how much, so this is Lauren Simeon asking me, how much time are you asking for? This is my personal favor to you.
I don't even know. I've asked today, like, is there any way you can give me some type of time frame?
You gotta give me a number, Lauren. If it was anybody else, or not, but almost anybody else, I would just say, you need to take them out. But because it's you, I'll work with you. You've always been really good, so.
Can you get me to the next 10-day hearing?
You want 2 weeks?
Yeah, just, I'm trying. I know he's been discouraged, but I'm really trying.
How about 1 week?
Okay.
Okay, next Monday, I'm expecting, so if y'all don't have a place or a plan, if you have a plan, then I may keep them because of the plan. But if you don't have a plan, then OCOK needs to be prepared to have a place for next Monday night.
Okay. Well, Monday is a
Or
holiday.
Tuesday night, because it's holiday.
Yeah. Well, I'll be out on leave next week. But
Okay.
I'll make sure.
So it's
my
good, so somebody else
supervisor-
has to.
But, yeah.
Okay, so just have somebody at OCOK to understand that we're gonna set up for next Tuesday on the detention hearing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna write a note that if y'all don't have a plan for them, then y'all have to be possession.
Okay. I'll let him know.
Okay, all right, thank you, Lauren.
Is there any way I can meet with Jeremiah?
Yes, so we'll have room back there. I think we can put them in the holdover. Jeremiah, do you have any questions for me? Okay, Ms. Keenan, I know this is probably not what you want, but hopefully you understand that I want to push this along. I don't want Jeremiah just to sit here, so. Yes, oh yeah, low on savings since the 21st, so for a week now. So Jeremiah, I appreciate that. And here's what kills me about this, Jeremiah, is this is not your fault. Like the placement closed. He had nothing to do with it. Morgan, I mean, he has no history of runaway, right?
Well,
No, he does.
Oh, there is one is in a runway.
Okay,
So he's running
That was in December.
okay. From Camp Worth, oh, ran away from placement.
That was when there was some issues going on that he was told that.
Right.
That's when he ran.
But, Ms. King, do you have somewhere to be after detention hearings?
No, I've got another one.
Okay. Ms. Seaman, we'll put them in the holdover. You can talk to them there, but I want to recontinue this after we're done. I think it's gonna be a longer conversation.
Okay.
We'll figure out more what's going on, other alternatives that we have. Okay. All right. So Ms. King, don't leave. We're gonna do this after we finish the detention hearings. All right. All right. Thank you, Jeremiah. Cameron. Cameron, you are 17 in August. Back in April, Fort Worth PD brought you in. At 2 o'clock, they were dispatched for an aggravated robbery. Talked to 2 people, apartments to buy 2 grams of marijuana from a guy they met on Snapchat. By the guy, the name was Stop 6. Stop 6, companion arrived. One of the victims gave Stop 6 $25 for marijuana. Then both suspects produced guns. Suspect number 2 later identified as you, put your gun against the neck of the victim and said, "You FFN and better give us what you have." So that's right. So gave money, wallet, and then you're currently on DPP for possession of marijuana. And you came in and you tested positive for marijuana. how far did he drop down on behavior? He just, since June 23rd, you guys have one outstanding. Okay, do we know for what? Okay. Do we have a parent here?
Yes,
Where's the parent?
right here.
Okay. I forgot to ask, like, all the tattoos he has, that's with your permission or without?
No, he got the one of it's for my grandma.
But you gave him permission to do that?
Yes.
Okay, and the rest of it, you just did on his own? All right. And I'm assuming while he was on DPP, you didn't give him permission to smoke marijuana either?
No, because he had just got him the day before he was clean.
Oh, was this one of the 420 surprise tests I did? Okay. Okay.
And he hadn't been using or nothing because he was clean.
Right.
He was actually doing right. I had got him back in school and everything.
Oh, God bless you.
He not really a bad kid. He don't give me a hard time. It just be the crowd that cheats sometimes.
It'd be the what?
The crowd.
The crowd. Yes. If he only hung around people that you approved of, I don't think he'd ever be here.
If they just listen.
If they just listen. Mr. Pearson, you want to say something?
Except for that drop, he originally, he had been on level 1 in like that whole entire stay. He's a model. Rather than back there, except for that one drop.
Right. This is what, I mean, just what gives me so much concern is holding the gun up to the neck of somebody threatening to shoot them while you're robbing them. While dealing drugs. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
That's right. That's good.
The same person that reported that also reported that they were over there to visit a relative, which they were alive. They were caught in alive in the middle of the investigation within about 5 minutes of the first interview with the injured party. So they did lie about that. A lot of people were very good while they were over there.
Right. And then you have Osmond Osborne, who I know very well.
He hadn't even been hanging around here.
Well, on the day he got arrested.
Then he came to our apartments. Everyone was at home.
I think Mr. Osborne got shot in a separate incident.
Yeah, that didn't have nothing to do with
I'm sorry?
that didn't have nothing to do with camera.
Well, yes, but Cameron's hanging around allegedly with guns with somebody who's getting shot. Okay, whose phone is that? Mr. Watkins?
No, Your Honor, was that money?
Everyone, please turn off your phones.
It's her.
No, it's not.
Unless you're an attorney or an officer of the court.
But one thing I can say,
Yeah.
he does go to school and he does have good grades. He was only not in school at the moment because he had got shot. And the same guys had something to do with that. He's the same guy that reported things. They stayed in the apartments right where my niece stayed. So they were lying all the way around. I know you might not be comfortable, but he not that kind of kid. He make messed up decisions that I wouldn't say he don't do wrong. But I tell him all the time, sometimes you are the company that you keep. And he do have to understand the seriousness. And I think he know the seriousness that he does. He don't like me here. I hate coming here. Because he ain't never brought me here. I hate coming here. Because this is not who he is. He did pretty good when she had his stipulations in place. He followed them.
Hold on. So, Mr. Pearson, do we know where we are with this as far as the setting next week?
June 30th.
Okay, but I think we're set for court on the 7th. Is there any kind of agreement worked out?
Not as yet, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, what's your opinion? What's your recommendation? Oh, I know it's whatever I want, but I mean, what's your recommendation?
Your Honor, he's done well on detention, he's doing well while he was living on probation, however, he did relapse 2 times. He had been participating in his family probation services, which he could continue involved with. He was unsuccessfully discharged from
many years have you been doing this, Ms. Smith? 21 years. Based on your 21 years of experience, can you make a recommendation to me whether I should release them or leave them?
I have concerns about his safety if he were to be released,
Sure.
but that
Because
is.
he is a document gang member, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's fine.
Do we know anything about Osborne? Where Osborne is he? He's all. Oh.
Hey, you're not gonna problem. If that's what y'all trying to keep, he ain't coming.
I beg your pardon?
Say he not gonna come turn this in. I done asked him numerous times
Oh.
to turn this in. He's not gonna do
Oh
it.
no, I don't. Because he knows he has to deal with Judge Campbell.
Oh, no. I'm moving, so he won't even know where I'm moving to. I'm in the process of moving now as we speak. I'm getting my kids away.
Okay. Well, so Cameron, just so you understand, that your range of punishment on this one, right now, it's an indeterminate commitment. So you could go to TJJD on an indeterminate sentence is the felony. However, if the district attorney's office looks to go to the grand jury and have a determinate sentence approval, you can do up to 40 years on this one. All right. So it just, right now, it's not as serious, especially because you're almost 17. But if the DA just goes, gets their approval, this will turn serious in a real hurry. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and release you on the trial monitor. It's been 75 days, gonna hold your behavior level up. Hopefully you learned your lesson. And so, also sweat patch. And then I just, at this point, he's not working, he doesn't have school.
Oh, he got a job interview waiting. We just waiting on him to come home.
The job where?
He's gonna work at Waterbury. My daughter works there. They already, the manager already waiting on him. He just called me so he can come, because I don't want him in the streets no more.
Okay, so it's either work, home, or church. Does he go to church?
Sometimes.
Okay, well, you can go as much as he wants, but he has to go to church. But we'll track you, Cameron.
That's
Yeah, don't
fine.
do this, take a long way home, stop at our friend's house, because.
No, I got my own car, so he ain't gotta do nothing in no
This
more.
place is full of kids who stop by a friend's house on the way home from work, okay? All right, let's try it out. Courtney. Yes, sir. Thank you. Courtney, you were on probation for stealing a car. And then you have not been doing your probation right. Not following curfew, not going to school, not reporting. And so Judge Porter ordered electronic monitoring. A month later, you left home without permission or timeouts. And mom didn't know where you were. So we issued a warrant for you, and then you were brought in. A couple hours later, he tested positive for marijuana. Okay, so I guess we're looking at FTP?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, in the meantime, Courtney, you can't be on probation and not reporting, all right? So I'm gonna hold you until they figure out what's gonna happen. But at this point, if you're not gonna report, that means I don't think you're gonna come back to court. And so I'm just gonna hold you until the bureau.
I was just gonna ask you, if they do get an acceptance to FPP prior to had these up this morning, could you be released to a parent?
Yeah.
On monitor that.
If y'all, sure, if deputy thinks FPP is appropriate, I don't want him here, but I just don't trust him to come back to court. Okay, so do we have a parent here? I understand. Okay. So Courtney, I hope you understand that I want the A in attendance. You know, if you don't report, then there's nothing we can do for you. If you're reporting, at least we know we can keep on trying. All right. So you're lucky that Mr. Jennings is going to bat for you, because you can be stuck here for a while, or you can go to TJJD for the county. Because the one thing that really bothers me is when kids don't report. Okay. Thanks, Courtney. Nolan. Very important.
That's my friend.
Okay. Okay, they're all done. All right, thank you. Nolan, you've been here for 16 days. April, Arlington PD referred you for marijuana in a drug-free zone. And they found baggie in your sock with a green leafy substance. The odor and appearance of marijuana was field tested. So we brought here. And then we released your grandpa. Do we have a family member here? Oh, mom. Okay. So then in June, we issued a warrant because mom reported that you ran away and took your grandfather's truck. And so we issued a warrant for you. The Fort Worth PD brought you in. They found you at a McDonald's with a runaway female. And so they took you into custody, found your grandfather's truck. And she said that you had a gun in your possession. They found a search with wallets, IDs, debit cards, but no gun. You said you found them. Of course you did. And then you refused UA samples, kept on refusing. And then we held out long enough for all the drugs to work out of your system because you were negative when you finally submitted a sample. So I guess that gave time for the ice and the crack and the heroin, all that to work its way out. Because, you know, when you refuse this drug sample, then I just assume you're positive for everything, like the fentanyl, and the MDMA, and the acid. All right, so mom, I remember you from last time. Was he living with you or living with grandpa at the time?
So he was staying with my parents because me and my husband were moving, and he was finishing up school there, and then we were still trying to get transitioned, and so he's been with my parents for since we left there.
Okay. So about how long?
Without me being there, about 2 months.
Okay. What county?
He's in Tarrant County.
Tarrant County. Grandpa's in Tarrant County as well?
Yes. In Arlington.
Well, mom, what's the plan?
The plan is to, if he could see her mom, to sleep in his room with him if I need to make sure he doesn't run away and take off or whatever. I mean,
So no, I want you to understand this. The fact that you're on probation for having weed is not the end of the world. That's not what I'm upset over. The fact that you run away with a case pending, that bothers me. When you take your grandfather's truck, that makes it worse. When you're with a 14-year-old runaway girl, then now it makes you look like a human trafficker. That's just what it makes you look like at this point. I mean, you have a runaway girl, you're the one with the car, you're the one with the stolen IDs and the credit cards, and she thinks you have a gun. So now my concern isn't about the marijuana you running away. My concern is, are you victimizing other 14-year-old girls in Tarrant County? Is that why I need to keep you here, is to protect the other runaway kids? Yes.
The other girl, the girl's mom, did find on her daughter's laptop that it was, I guess a group of like 10 or 15 kids that had all been sneaked out and go hang out, and it just so happened that the two of them got caught. The girl's mom got up in the middle of the night and went and checked in the daughter's room, and she wasn't there, so she went to track her daughter's location and
Right.
reported to the police and she found her.
I think the best thing you have going for you, Nolan, is your mom. The fact that mom reported your runaway and has been cooperating with us. Look, Nolan, you're free to make a choice. You're not free, but you're not free to choose your consequence. And you may have thought it was a good idea to go and run away with a bunch of kids, or just one kid. But at the end of the day, there's a certain way it makes you look. Mom, the fact that your mom is the one that reported you missing and was cooperating with us, that is why I'm going to release you. No matter how difficult you think your mom is, she's the one that's saving your hide right now. So I think you should probably be really, really grateful. If it wasn't for her calling us and being proactive, and what you would probably consider snitching on you, I would be keeping you here. Lesson learned from this, your mom's doing the right thing and good things happen. You're doing the wrong thing and bad things happen. So start trying to make right decisions. Thank you, Nolan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alexander. Yes. All right, Alexander. You were on probation for evading arrest with a motor vehicle. And you got picked up for all kinds of probation violations. Then on June 13th, about 1 o'clock in the morning, Fort Worth PD was dispatched for a stolen vehicle and saw vehicle loading up several juveniles. Made eye contact with the driver, so the cop car turned around and the driver sped off. Kept on driving, refused to pull over. Fort Worth Air 1 followed, and then turned south, and all 6 people jumped out and ran. Driver was looking at hiding behind the shed. Being on probation, in a stolen car, on a car chase with the police, running on foot, hiding behind the shed is no way to live your life, son. And you're positive for marijuana. And you're level 3. Why is he level 3 defined? Of course he is. Do we have a parent here? Mom, I gotta ask about his tattoos. Did you have your permission to get those tattoos?
No,
All right. Alexander, I think, is just out of control. Like when you're in a car chase from the police, you just put all these other people at risk, the other 5 juveniles in the car, their lives are at risk. So I've got to ask, does he even have a driver's license?
No.
No. So he doesn't even have a driver's license. Mr. Mesa,
Yes, Your Honor.
at this point, level 3 confined. I think we just need to set this on a motion to modify. Alexander clearly doesn't want to do anything to participate in the program and to rebuild himself. I'm not sure there's anything we can do for him. So,
We are set right now on July 19th.
okay, is it a contested hearing?
I haven't talked with the prosecutor.
Definitely, you don't want to set one. Okay. This one?
He was doing so good. I mean, as far as I know, he was on level 10 for a while. I had talked to him and because I come and visit him. And he said he had enough. He was gonna be good. He had a job waiting for him and everything, but I don't know what happened. So, it's just.
That's one thing Alexander doesn't understand. Like, he's trying to make big boy decisions. But you and I both know as adults that you can spend years and years building up a good reputation. It takes one bad decision to make your world come crashing down. And if he's back here level 3 confined for fighting, then I don't want him interfering with other kids trying to make their lives better. So Stephanie, do we know what it's up for? Okay, so let's go ahead and set that on a contested motion modified. This will be the, you said the 19th, Mr. Mixon?
Right now.
Okay, so I think it's like 21 days notice. I'll be hearing that the court should hear the motion modified as pledged. The state needs to amend it, please do so at least 10 days before. So Mr. Mason has noticed it. I don't know if you want to give that note to whoever, I think it's any case. But Alexander, you know, clearly you don't want to be here, so you're get your wish. So we'll figure out whether we put you on back on probation or you go to TJJD. All right, thank you. Martine. Martine, you were on probation for back in 2019, so you're 14 years old, you have probation for having a gun. You get arrested for assault right after you took probation. And a month later, you get arrested for criminal trespass, evading arrest, and breaking cars while you're on probation for the gun charge. Then 3 months later, you get arrested for stealing a car again, which the DA dismissed. Then you broke into a house, and so you were adjudicated for burglary and habitation, got probation with placement. And so you didn't get arrested. Well, then 2 months later, you get arrested for assault again. So did he go to placement, Mr. Jones?
Yes, sir.
Where did he go?
I believe he went to,
Grand Prairie and successfully discharged?
yeah, he was.
Arizona, Canyon State.
And he was successfully,
Okay. And so when did he discharge from there?
he was discharged from there, in May, I believe. I got him in May.
Okay, so he discharged in May. So now in June, police were dispatched a stolen car on 28th Street. Police pulled in, stolen vehicle sped, and went to the stockyard. So the police called off the chase. But Fort Worth Air 1 was following. And the vehicle continued, ran stoplights, collision with another vehicle. 3 males got out, and the police got out, and they continued to run. So the pilot gave a good description of the runners, and then they found, neighbors said somebody was hanging out in one of the backyards. So they saw you peeking out, ordered you to the ground, wearing the same clothes the helicopter pilot identified, and you asked if you'd get more time for being the driver. So, all right. So I detain you, and now, so he's still on probation for bird hat, is that correct?
Yes,
He's low on outstanding since June 16th. Why did he, what was the hiccup for?
there was nothing.
Oh, that was the first day. Okay, all right. Well, Martin, at this point, I'm not going to release you. I'm just very concerned that pretty much within a month of you getting out of placement. Do you have a parent here? Okay. So, yeah, within a month of you getting out of placement, we're supposedly you're rehabilitated, you pick up a new offense, new felony. So that's got me really worried about the safety of the community, especially if it is true that you're the driver running stop signs, driving high rate of speed through the stockyards, where people are always crossing the street and on the sidewalk. I'm very concerned about the safety of the community and the danger that you pose. All right. Thank you, Martin.
Yes, sir.
Gabriel. Thank you. Your parents?
Hey, this is mother,
Mother, and you are,
probation officer, Phil Sawyer.
oh,
It's the mask.
I never know what all the people are. Thank you. Go ahead. So. Gabriel, are you an American citizen? Sorry. So you just turned 14. North Hills brought you in, saying that you dispatched a domestic, talked with mom was cooking. You said that she was worthless, calling her names. She said she had enough, tried to discipline you. You went to your room. She followed. She tried to pop you with a towel as punishment. So you grabbed a Febreze bottle and sprayed her in the face. And then laid back in the bed, kicked her in the ribs, brought her over here. And you're looking at continuous family violence, which is a felony. So you're on DPP. Prior to that, you were referred to TYRC for substance abuse treatment. And you were discharged for assaulting a peer. That's in April and May. Not going to school, testing you for QC, and you're positive for QC. Mom is frustrated, and she thought marijuana, and you punched her in the ribs. It's the second time in a week that you did that. So, Phil, are we really looking at family FPP for this? I mean, is that?
We started with the first prosecution and had very little amount of time, and then just continued to go. And we thought,
Yeah, that probably is. Has he already been diagnosed?
He's been diagnosed with a number.
Is he receiving medication?
He is, yes.
And Mr. Sark, if you don't mind asking, Mom, was he taking his medication at the time that these alleged assaults occurred?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the last time you saw his doctor?
Last Friday.
Last,
Yeah.
Friday.
oh, you had a virtual.
It was a virtual.
He's been medication compliant since then?
Not heard anything.
Well, he's level 1 so you had to be, right? When was the last time we saw the doctor before he came here?
About a month ago, Your Honor.
I beg your pardon?
About a month ago.
About a month before he came here, or about a month before today?
Como un mes atrás, ¿no? Yes, a month before today.
I believe that was their very first appointment. That's,
So he got a prescription on that day?
yes.
All right, Gabriel, at this point, just because your mother, is that around, Mr. Sark, you can ask her?
Se encuentra el papá. ¿Dónde está el papá? The father lives with his parents.
The father lives with the father parents?
Yes.
Okay,
Mother and father do not live in the same
Okay.
location.
sure. Yeah, Gabriel, you just push it too far. If it was a one-time, maybe a two-time thing, it'd be different, but it seems like it's repeated. You striking your mother. I'm holding you here just so I can protect your mother. And what you have to understand is when you set a pattern of behavior, it takes another pattern of behavior to show me that you changed or that your mother will be safe. That's what you're working on right now, showing me now 1 week or 2 weeks, a pattern of you behaving and that your mother would not be in danger if I was to release you to her. Okay? I'm doing this to protect your mom. That's the only reason why I'm taking you. Thank you, Gabriel. Corian. Yes. Thank you. Corian. here, been here for 207 days. Are we set on the trial docket? No? All right, so Mr. Adler, help me out here. Where are we going with this one?
Judge, Ms. Taylor's case, turn of the day.
Okay. Okay. No, that's all right. All right, this is what we'll do is now we hit 200 days. According, so this is the one with the, I think it was a drive-by shooting. And yeah, drove by the victim's house, fired shots, struck the victim and fled. Real-time cameras found them, found the car. And witness put you in the passenger seat. And that, yeah. And drove by 2 times. First time shots was the driver, second time was you. Documented blood gang member. So let's go ahead and Stephanie, if we can call Ms. Taylor and figure out, set this again. Okay, just contest the hearing. All right, so according next week, we will find out what happens in her case. All right. Ms. Taylor is elected not to have a jury, just have it in front of me. And so I found kids not delinquent. I found kids delinquent. It's just whatever the facts are, but I'll be as fair as I can. Okay, so let's see. We have a parent here. No. Oh, they came in, I guess, wearing shorts or tank tops. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I got to dress appropriately for it. All right. But they are here. They try and come here for you. All right, so we'll see you next week, and we'll have the hearing and figure out what to do. That we're finally getting to the end of this. All right, thank you, Corey. Oh. We have a parent here?
Okay.
Okay. All right. And can you tell them to turn the radio? Thank you. So you were here for theft, evading arrest, theft. The DA dismissed all those, stealing a car chase with the police. All right. It's all started. All right, it's April 1st. I adjudicated you for unauthorized use of motor vehicle and burglary of a building. I ordered you probation until your 18th birthday to expire in August and to live with your mom in Itasca. So we asked Hill County to supervise you. They told us that you stole a pickup, ran away from home. They're going to file UUMD charges, and you were harboring a runaway from Tarrant County for 6 months. That's right. Mom's not here. Okay, yeah, that's right. So mom is the one saying you're going to do what you're going to do. So how can she stop you? So picked up in Dallas County for failure to ID, and you gave the wrong name. Arrested and brought over here. All right, man, Angel. So this is one that is clearly you don't have adequate supervision at home. Either your mom can't parent you and give you supervision, or you've refused her supervision so much that she has given up. So for kids like you that don't listen to their parents, or the parents won't supervise you, I have no choice but to keep you here. Thank you, Anil. Phyllis. Yes, thank you, sir. Years old. Never been here before. So on Saturday, Arlington PD brought you in They're saying on Friday about 10:30, there was a robbery call. Police met with a victim who had a significant amount of blood coming out of a large cut over his left eye. EMS and fire made the scene. Victim said his former girlfriend, he identified you, messaged him to hang out that evening, picked you up in a 2011 Dodge Charger. You directed him to the place where he was talking to police, planned to park and smoke marijuana. Black sedan pulled up, a black male, 16 to 17, got out, short dreads, shirtless, tapped on the window with a gun, with a mounted light, and the suspect demanded him get out. When he did, you allegedly slid over the driver's seat. He was forced to his knees at gunpoint, empty his wallets, and surrender his wallet and cell phone. So he gave up his wallet, cash, his iPhone. And so the suspect demanded he move faster, hit him in the face with the butt of a gun, knock him to the ground, then removed his Jordans and told Phyllis, let's go. So he drove up in a car with a black car following. Ran to the nearest house for help, 911 called. Responding units located his car traveling at high rate of speed, accelerating during U-turn, running a red light. And the responding unit activated overhead lights. The vehicle took off and it wrecked out on Center Street. All right, so occupants fled by the time police got there, but witness pointed to directions where the suspects were fleeing and pointed to you near the wreck. And you said you did not know who the person you were with. And you said you were not kidnapped. And you let them see your Instagram account, which showed somebody saying, text, y'all okay. So you're arrested, and the suspect was eventually identified as a juvenile on probation. All right, well, folks, gonna let you know, I don't know if you know what the law of parties is in Texas, but that in Texas, whenever a crime is committed, and anybody who participates in the planning, the commission, or the proceeds, the benefit from that crime, can all be found guilty of the exact same crime. So let's say Mr. Berger, your attorney, and I go and decide to rob a bank, and I plan it. Mr. Berger goes inside, doesn't even have a gun with him. He just gives a note to the teller. And my bailiff here, Ed, he's a getaway driver. The security guard in there, all shaky and old guy, starts shooting his gun, kills the customer. We all run, no money's taken, nobody had a gun. But all three of us could get the death penalty because there was a robbery, felony robbery taking place and somebody died. So he was just a getaway driver. I planned it, I wasn't even there. Mr. Berger didn't have a gun. It was an accidental shooting by the security guard, but we would all be guilty of capital murder, eligible for the death penalty. So just let you know, it looks like your role in this offense, that you helped commit this crime and helped plan the crime by setting it up. And so I need to let you know you are potentially looking at up to 40 years in prison over this. Okay, I'm not going to say you're getting 40. High chance you're going to get probation. What I'm letting you know, though, is that that is how serious this matter is. All right, so it is important for you to do your best back here. I am not going to release you because generally when kids are brought in here with gun charges, I generally don't release them for a while until I'm comfortable about releasing them, especially with the fact that it looks like there's other people involved that are not caught with this crime. So I don't want you to go back and affiliating with them either. So at this point, I'm going to go and detain you, try and make the best of your situation. Mom, I'm guessing your mom? Okay. And sir, sit down. Come back in and sit down. There's not a movie where you can get up and down and come and go as you want. Sorry. So Mom, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, this is a person who has a serious injury as well as a person who at one point thought he might be dying that night in a parking lot. And so this is the most serious of crimes that we have before you actually get to somebody dying. All right, and so I have to be very cautious. I don't know if you know this ex or the current guy she's with or who she's hanging out with, but I think Phyllis got herself caught up in a real bad situation. All right, so at this point, I'm going to detain her. We'll see how it goes. You know, I do release kids, even though they're facing gun charges. I do release kids, even on homicide charges, but it depends on the kid themselves, not. But as a general rule at the beginning, something like this, I want to tap the brakes and slow down. Okay. All right. Thank you, Phyllis. Or if you need to leave now, you can. Halfway to Mia. Deontay. Yes. Thank you. So Doug, I can figure out a way to get Vincent's not retired. We're all trying, Vincent. We're trying to figure out a way to get him to not retire. Look, he's already checked out. All right, Deontay. You are. So Saturday, on TPD brought you in for UCW. They're saying about 2:20 in the afternoon. They're working off duty at Parks Mall. Security said an individual was seen walk around with what seemed to be a gun out of his pocket. And security found him and began tracking you. You were walking into a store with another black male and a black female. Security dispatch, watching on video, informed officers that the black male with a black t-shirt exit the store, put a black passing shopping bag down and walk away. Then when it was picked up, found a loaded 9mm handgun stolen out of Bedford. And officers observed the video of the part transfer from Deontay to the black male in the black t-shirt inside the denim store. Placed you in custody, asked if you had anything illegal, and you said you had some weed in your pocket. It was confirmed, tested, 800 something else. So, found a magazine with ammunition and you were run away. So do you have a parent here?
Right here.
All right, so I got questions. Do we know why Deontay had a gun?
No.
Or weed?
No.
Okay, so. Just to let you know, right now he's looking at a misdemeanor unlawfully carrying a weapon. Because it was stolen, he could be looking at a felony possession of a stolen firearm. Okay, so that's up to the DA's discretion right now. Arlington PD just referred him on the misdemeanors of the marijuana and the UCW. Okay, so that being said, I think you've been here through the detention hearings. You know how I feel about children with guns. I'm all about guns. I think when children have guns, they should be supervised by an adult. And going to the mall to sell stolen guns is a really big deal to me, because that's what the evidently has happened. Is he went to the store and then did a transaction to sell the firearm to somebody else. So at this point, I'm going to detain Deontay, all right, because I need to tap the brakes. This is out of control with children with guns in our community, and I think that's something that we need to keep everyone safe. So I've been doing that for several years now, and I think it's working. But at this point, Deontay has to show me that he's responsible and they can follow the rules and instruction. And when he shows that to me, I'll give him the chance to go home, because I don't think he's really respecting your rules right now. And so
I can say, prior to this, he was, with a personal trainer, because he's very smart. He's naturally athletic. If you ask him what he wants to do, he'll tell you he wants to be a mechanical engineer. He has a vision. He has a purpose. It's just, again, like I know you hear this a lot. It's the wrong group of friends. And I see now, it's serious. And I think this will be a turnaround for him, because, again, he does have a vision. He does know what he wants to do.
I hope so.
We're hoping that he sees that this is as serious as it is. And
we're
we're seeing him, and he sees we love him. He's fine.
Okay, so I have to ask, who are we?
I'm sorry, I'm his legal guardian.
I'm his mother.
Okay, good. So, yeah, at this point, this is just kind of my rule as far as kids with guns. Hopefully, 70% of the kids that come through here that have a case file never come back here.
Yep.
So that's what I want to see. I hope you understand the situation that you're in. It's the gun that's giving me concern. I wish you didn't have the weed, but I'm not crying over the weed. I'm crying over the gun. That's what's got me worried. So do well, do right here, and then we'll review this and make a decision. Okay? Thank you, Dante.
Judge, I understand Ms. Campbell's mother is here.
Okay. We're going to the implement. Alicia. Yes. Alicia, you've been here for 15 days. You were here on the UCW and traffic stop driving 72 and a 40, 5 people in the car, your back passenger smelled weed in the car. Your name and date of birth did not match. And so they asked you to step out. Looked like you're trying to conceal things. And found a black handgun stolen out of Fort Worth. And so the guy in the front seat claimed the gun found was his, but he was not aware it was in the car. Said you were his cousin and did not want you to take the charge, so you were about to be tested positive for methamphetamines, amphetamines, and marijuana. And you've run away multiple times for weeks at a time, picked up in New Orleans at one point. So you started your medication in June 17th. All right, so we have a parent, I guess. Hello. Well, how do we, I think it's, I don't know how we keep her from running away. Right?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think it's a decision only she can make. You know, I impose all these rules, try to keep her with me 24 hours.
I beg your pardon?
I said, I try to impose all these rules to keep her with me 24 hours.
Sure.
It's almost impossible when they get this age. So like me and my daughter been speaking since she's been in here. Like, I'm just an advisor now. I'm gonna advise you to do the right thing, but ultimately you're of age where you know the right thing to do, and she knows how to make the right decisions. I know she does. So it's just a.
Mom, I'm kind of with you. I think she's able to make the right decisions. She's just choosing to make the wrong decisions. And that's the difficult part about this is she's at the age where she can, you know, it's not like she's 10 years old anymore, right?
Right.
So,
Yes. May I address?
Yes, absolutely.
Before you make Your Honor, she has been on one outstanding since Friday. I believe she was on one acceptable for a few days before that. Is that right?
She was level 2. Okay.
Level 12, okay, excuse me. Judge, it is, what we have here, right, at least right now, are just, I believe, 2 misdemeanors. She is back on her medication. She is doing well now, and she also wanted to address you, Judge, and I would approve of that. What she would like to say, something that happened the last hearing where I was here. If that may happen, when you stand up, talk to the judge.
I just want to apologize for how I behaved last time. That was very immature, and I really truly hope you forgive me.
So you don't have to worry about my forgiveness, all right? It's not about that. Alicia, my worry is when 16-year-old girls get picked up in a different state, okay? I'm not saying anything happened. What it tells me, though, is it gives off my warning signs that you may be a victim of human trafficking. And they're just flat out, right? And that is the kind of thing that every young kid needs to understand is if you show up as a runaway in a different state, Judge Kim is going to be concerned that you're a victim of trafficking, even if you're not. But if you didn't have permission from your parents to end up in New Orleans, then I'm concerned. Okay, yes.
I did, like my mama, she knew I was going, she just didn't know who I was going with, so, like,
So hold on, okay, I'm gonna stop right now.
That's
So,
what she called
hold
me.
on, I'm gonna stop, all right? So my question is, are you telling me that your mom was okay with you going to New Orleans without her?
yes, I felt like,
Hold on. It's a yes, no. Was your mom okay with you going to New Orleans without her? Right? See where I'm going with this? Because I know she wasn't. Okay, she wasn't. So that's what that sounds like. Mom, you were not okay with her going to New Orleans.
She's already en route. She's already gone.
I understand, but you didn't want her going there.
No, I didn't.
And that's what you have to
No,
understand.
it's not want her going anywhere. I would like to keep it home.
I understand. So at this point,
I have a thought for her saying no. Electronic monitor.
that's not gonna keep her home. She can cut it off.
You don't know.
Yes.
Judge, if you put an electronic monitor on her, she knows she has to stay at home, or as we say, go to church or work if she has a job. If she doesn't do it, she knows she's coming back here. She's 16 and a half right now.
Yes.
Well, she only has 6 more months to deal with this system.
Right. But
After
these are,
that,
yeah,
it's gonna be gone, you know, she can be downtown.
hope springs eternal, Mr. Daniel, doesn't it?
But
Alicia,
it's attorney, it does.
yes, it does. So, Alicia, this is where I'm at. I'm just being straight up with you. Is that you have shown a pattern of behavior, right? That doesn't go away with a couple weeks of you getting well. Okay. This is something that sometimes, especially if I'm concerned about you being trapped. Right? This is something that shows you have to prove to me that you hold your behavior, you do things right, so that it's not that you're just gaming me and working the system, but that you really are a person that I can trust and that to not run away. So, Mom, I'm guessing you're having phone calls with her. Are you able to visit her here? Okay. And so, are you noticing some kind of change in her?
I've noticed a change in her. She's been communicating more and acknowledging her decision. Also, she has got a better with taking accountability.
Right.
I've had a real big chance every time she does something, she says, because somebody else. So since she's been here, and she did show a lot of remorse for how she behaved in the courtroom last time.
Sure.
Because I said it wasn't a good look. I didn't raise her that way. And I know she knows how to behave. But like I said, it's talking it and doing it is two totally different things. You gotta get where she's a doer of what she promises.
Right.
For her safety,
I understand.
you know.
So, Alicia, do you understand where I'm coming from on this? Like, I just don't know. Look, if this is just a case and that was it, I wouldn't care. Like, if you're working the system or not. In fact, I'd probably tell you just work the system, get to 1-0 and get out of here and just say no more. Okay. The fact that you're ending up in New Orleans without your mom's permission, that raises the stakes a lot. That's what's got me so worried about you. Okay. And I actually am worried about you. So. Let's see.
We're set for the age judge, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, no, I'm just seeing how long she's been here.
Just 2 weeks.
2 weeks, but you've been gone, Mom, she's been runaway for more than 3 weeks at a time, right? Yeah, Alicia, I think it's just fitting. If you've been runaway for more than 3 weeks, you being here for 2 weeks before I let you go, that's, you have to think about what your mom is going through when you've been gone all those days, right? I mean, it doesn't seem fair that you're just 2 weeks and get out. All right. So, Alicia, we'll see you in 10 days, or we'll see you before that because you have court. But this is one of those, I'm actually looking for a wholesale change and do something real, not just you trying to work the system. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Mom. Miguel. Yes. Thank you. So, Miguel, in June, River Oaks PD had a warrant issued back in April. So back in August of last year, 1 o'clock in the morning, police were patrolling on Ohio Garden when he saw illuminated taillights identified as a 2020 Tacoma in a front yard. So he went up to the vehicle, saw the driver was laying across the driver's seat with his head against the passenger side door. The vehicle saw what he thought was to be blood against the passenger side door. When he opened the door, he saw a gunshot wound to the left side of his head. Officer could hear the victim groaning and still breathing. Transport to the hospital, pronounced deceased on the 22nd. All right, so there's video surveillance from the neighborhood. It said about 12:42 a.m. victim arrives in front of the house. And 3 males walk toward the vehicle. 1 stops, goes back towards the house, the other 2 towards the vehicle. Then the male who left is seen returning with another male approach. 10 seconds later, 3 shots were fired identified as Jason, Aiden, Jimmy, and Miguel. There's all 4 juveniles. Video shows 2 suspects go to the backyard and 2 go into a garage, 2 then leave the residence. We got a search warrant, found Jason, Miguel, 2 other adults, a Glock 9mm handgun was found in the back bedroom, and a 9mm pistol. 3 other 9mm round casings located at the crime scene matched the bullets found at the home, and ballistics matched the fired round and 3 cartridge cases fired from the rest. Oh, they all matched the ballistics from the pistol retrieved from the home. Police talked with witnesses who said that Aiden had set up a drug deal, was going to sell 1.5 ounces of marijuana, and Aiden was talking about robbing the victim. When he got there, got in a fight with the victim, then Miguel then shot the victim 3 times, hitting him once in the head. On August 24th, father turned a hoodie that was found in the house behind the sink that allegedly was what Miguel was wearing the night of the shooting, tested positive for GSR. Witnesses also said Miguel shot the victim. Pistol was reported stolen, and you were picked up by Alvarado police. All right, Miguel, well, I'll find that there is probable cause that you committed this offense of murder or capital murder. You have no history of this department, but I'm very concerned about the safety of the community, especially if it looks like efforts were made to conceal evidence of the crime, according to the report. So we're going to detain you, and we'll go ahead and, Ms. Lemus, you and I have known each other for a long time.
Yes,
This is
Judge.
definitely in your wheelhouse, so, just so you know, I try and let the attorneys be the attorneys up until about 180 days, and then I start putting pressure. So, and I think Ms. Keenan and Mr. Adler can tell you that. I'll give wide latitude up until 6 months, but after that, it's going to be, when are we trying this? What are we doing? Even to the point I might set things once a week, because I don't want Miguel staying here any longer than he has to. Either he needs to be acquitted, get probation, go to TJJD, either way, or TDC if he's certified. But I don't want him languishing. So I'm just letting you know, you really have that 6-month window to play with, but 6 months goes by fast when you start talking about ME reports and DNA and testing all that. So, but that is, Miguel, that is my thing. If this was downtown adult case, you could probably look at a year to 1.5 years, maybe even 2 years before this is resolved. My goal is really 8 months. But that means that 6 months I'm pushing it. So at this point, I'm not releasing you. I'm very concerned about the safety of you as well as the community. But you do have my promise that I'm not going to forget about you. We'll see each other every 10 days. If you would like to waive the hearings, you can, as long as you're level 1. Just your attorney can sign for you. But if you're not level 1, you're going to have to come to me, and I'm going to hear from Ms. Alonso what you're doing wrong back there. But otherwise, you can waive the 10-day hearings. It would be a while before I release you, just let you know, based on what I'm seeing in this report, okay? I don't want to set false expectations for you, all right? But this will move a lot faster than it does in the adult courts. And that doesn't even matter, because I think there's other kids that haven't been arrested yet. It doesn't matter to me when they get arrested. I'm not waiting on them. I'm not waiting on that me. In fact, the DA is actually more inconvenienced than anybody else, because this goes on whether or not they're ready, okay? If they weren't ready for it, they shouldn't have filed it. All right, thank you, Miguel.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Lemus. Rome, the last one. Oh, almost last. To revisit. Marijuana is a non-violent drug. It seems like we get more referrals for marijuana than we do marijuana gone bad. than any other drug. All right, Rome. No parent here, I guess? Never been here before. She contacted mom in December. She refused to provide information. Case was set in May. She refused to provide information. I refused to fill out a request for attorney. Unable to contact mom. All right, so June, Arlington PD patrolling area had 2 armed robberies, black tee and short dreads with blue Crocs and a black backpack. And fit the description from a previous aggravated robbery. And they cross the street without a cross signal. So they stop you, refuse commands, grab your backpack, you pushed away, take it to the ground, cuffed, continue resisting, and THC relationships. Refuse to ID yourself, but went to the apartment where they thought you lived. Mom answered and confirmed your identity. That's over the weekend, Saturday. Back in December, aggravated robbery. Victim said she was behind the counter. One employee inside the store. 2 people walked in. First one came to the register to buy. Once he purchased things, walked out. The second one walked behind the counter, pulled out a gun, told to open the register, and victim opened the register. Suspect grabbed the cash, put in pockets, left. Victim locked the doors, called 911. And there was GPS tracker and the money. So searched the area for the tracker, couldn't find it. And asked for a photo ID. On a runaway report that he had a brother named Will. So yeah, so you get the wrong name. Video from the body cam showed up, they ID'd you and showed you holding a gun. Mom said that she saw you and another suspect with a fake gun and told y'all to get rid of it. And you were positive marijuana. So you've got a pending case for aggravated robbery, and then now you get picked up for another aggravated for resisting arrest and failed ID. And mom is not here, and mom is difficult. All right, so.
Yeah. Can you give me 1 second to ask you a question?
Yes.
Address report.
Yes.
I'm just reading this report. I know he's not my client, but I would ask the court on his behalf really to subpoena that mom, make sure she's here for not even detention, maybe out of custody, to see if she wants to proceed in this case. If not, for Kansas to stay with the alternative measures.
Yeah, so I'm aware that there's problems with this mom. So I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor as dual role guardian ad litem, attorney ad litem. So if your mom's not going to show up and do the bare necessity, bare minimum on your case, which is basically filling out a piece of paper, then she's not able to make any kind of decision or advocate for you. So your attorney, Ms. Taylor, I'm appointing her as both your attorney ad litem and for your case, as well as your guardian ad litem. Okay. So Rome, meanwhile, at this point, I think you're just a danger to the community, especially with this aggravated robbery. We can go and detain you until we can figure out more. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, so that concludes the detention docket. We're going to talk about, which one was it, Ms.
Jeremiah,
Yes.
Yes.